welcome back to Urban Backyard Container Gardening. I'm Moses. If this is your first time stopping by, I appreciate you and thank you for stopping. And to my returning viewers, I appreciate you all. This video is a little different from what you normally see on my channel. As the title states, straight talk. I'm going to give you some straight talk. I have been thinking about doing this type of video for a while, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to have probably 4 times a year where we just sit back and have a frank conversation, get stuff off your chest, or if there's anything that I want to discuss with you and have an open feedback about it. This video is going to have 3 bullet points. The first one is what I like to call, who is Moses? Moses is a person who's very easygoing, like the Commodore song, easy like Sunday morning. That's who I am. I worked for 33 years at the Broward Sheriff's Office in Broward County, Florida, as a 911 operator, a trainer, and then a shift supervisor. So as you can imagine, I have heard some not so pleasant things. I've heard people on the phone get shot, people getting robbed, car accidents, heart attacks, given CPR, you name it, I've pretty much experienced it. So I have seen and heard the worst side of what life has to offer. But ironically, by nature, I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I enjoy a good laugh, and I'm very mellow. I got into gardening pretty much at the age of 5. My dad was in the Army, and we moved around quite a lot. By the time I was 9, 10, I believe I had lived in like 21, 22 states and 3 countries. Every place that we went, my dad would have a garden, and it would consist of okra, greens, peppers, hot peppers, and tomatoes. And being the oldest, I always tried to emulate my dad. I vividly remember him going out into the backyard, picking a pepper, washing it off, and taking a bite out of it and saying, "Ooh, that's good." And then he would give the rest to me and I would eat it. So fast forward to graduating from high school, went to University of Miami for a year and decided that college wasn't for me. And I got a job working at the local sheriff's office. And it wasn't exactly what my chosen major was. My major was computer networking. The computers did network, but it wasn't what my major was. But as it turned out, it was for the best that I chose to go down that path. A little later in life, I got into a relationship that I like to call the relationship from hell. And 7 years later, I had given up on any type of relationships or anything like that. And that's where part 2, or bullet point number 2, comes into effect. I call it how my wife saved me. Back in the day when we met, well, let's back up a little bit before that. One day at my apartment, I decided to check my mail. And at the time, we had these things called local flyers. And they had everything that people would be selling, apartments for rent, job descriptions, and personal ads. So I decided to answer a personal ad. And 2 weeks later, at the time I was working midnight shift from 11 at night till 7 in the morning. And I had just gotten off work. It was about maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. And my phone rings and I answer it as opposed to going to sleep, which is what I would normally have done. And it, unbeknownst to me, it was my future wife. And we talked for about 6, 7 hours on that one phone call. That night at work was the longest night for me because I was so sleepy. But looking back on it, it was well worth it. Um, and that leads me up to bullet point number 3. I'm sure a lot of you have seen my videos and you've seen me walk with a limp. That is because I have a condition, both my brother and I, a condition called hemophilia. And basically, to give you a real quick rundown of what that is, one of the factors, and there are 12 factors in everybody's blood, I'm missing, and it causes my blood not to clot correctly. And I am prone to having, well, as a kid, not so much now, but prone to having bleeds into my joints. Over time, the joints develop arthritis, and they don't bend they don't bend properly like they're supposed to. And it is what it is. So I've learned prior to meeting my wife, I was always self-conscious about that. And I've had a long lifetime of being told what I couldn't do. Couldn't play sports or anything like that. And basically I felt like, I was handicapped, and that really annoyed me. Well, I met my future wife. I told her about my condition, and she looked at me being very perplexed and said, well, is it contagious? Which was the first question. No. And I told her no. And the second question was, well, does it stop you from doing anything that you want to do? And honestly, it really didn't. So she said, well, I don't see what the big deal is. And sitting back and looking at it from her point of view, she was absolutely right. From that point forward, I stopped feeling sorry for myself and started doing whatever I felt like I was capable of doing. And let me tell you, has been the best part of my life. Meeting her, I really, really, really believe that she changed my life for the better. I was able to do what I wanted to do as opposed to being limited by my condition. And I say that I offer my um, testimony to everyone else, in that if you have a condition or something in your life, you don't have to let it limit you from what you want to do. Find a workaround for it. Whatever God takes away in one spot, He gives back somewhere else. So don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't do the woe is me, even though it is very common and very logical and understandable why you would do that. Doing that allows the man downstairs to control you, and that shouldn't be allowed, shouldn't occur. So think about it. Look at my testimony, and I hope that this helps people who are going through issues and just feel like screw it and giving up. Don't give up. Never give up. Continue to fight. I want to thank you for letting me give you this straight talk conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. And for those of you that haven't subscribed to my channel, take a moment to consider doing so. Like I said before, about 3, maybe 4 times a year, we'll have discussions like this. And nothing is off limits. If you are curious about hemophilia, leave me a note in the or comment in the comments field, and I'll try my best to explain it. From what my mom was telling me back in the day, it runs in our family, and usually it's the males that get it. However, females can get it as well. Minor things like a tooth falling out, or going to the dentist, or something so simple as a nosebleed back in the day would be considered very life-threatening. Not so much now. So treatment is by medication that you can keep at home, and that's what I do. When I was a kid, the treatment was to run to the local hospital, be that on military base or civilian, and get a blood transfusion. Now, after my mom and dad got divorced, my mom had to take care of my brother, my younger brother, and my younger sister. And there were many nights where she would run us down to Jackson Memorial Hospital. It's the biggest hospital in the South Florida region. And be there till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, drive back home to Fort Lauderdale area, get an hour of sleep, and then go to work. So that woman is the strongest woman I know. Want to give a shout out to her. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Until next time, stay strong, stay blessed, and grow, grow, grow. Lastly, and most importantly, always give the thanks to God, for without him, we are nothing. Take care.